Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another video. And today, I would like to share my thoughts on Fate Grand Order once again. Hopefully you guys watched my video from a few weeks ago talking about finishing part 1, which, mind you, it took me from the summer, around April or May, I forget exactly which month, but April or May to the end of December where I finished part 1, which is technically 9 singularities. You have, the prologue, the 7 singularities, then the final singularity. And then after that, you get presented with the Epic of Remnant, which I just finished. Pseudo-Singularity 1, Shinjuku, the quarantined territory of malice, also known as the Shinjuku Phantom Incident. And man, finishing this right now, I have to make a video, and I wish I made videos for all the separate singularities because there's just so much to talk about. So I wanted to go over this. There's going to be spoilers in the video just because, I got to talk about it. So I have a bunch of different screenshots, and I'll do my slideshow presentation for all of you and just reminisce on it. Because I was told by some people that the Epic of Remnant, there's 4 pseudo-singularities before you get to part 2, Cosmos and the Lost Belt. And people told me this is kind of filler, which I don't know how that's the case considering how things ended up with MASH at the end of part 1 and how she's sort of unable to participate and she's staying in Chaldea while Senpai, the main character, Fujimaro, they call him in the movies and such and the anime adaptations, he's going to the pseudo-singularities, but MASH is staying behind with Da Vinci in Chaldea. So I don't know how that's exactly filler, because the story's obviously continuing, but, some people said, oh, it's just filler. I don't know. But anyway, so what happened was, things are trying to get back to normal in Chaldea after we saved the world, and there's going to be people inspecting the facility, and Da Vinci uncovers the pseudo-singularities, the first one being in 1999 in Shinjuku, which is relatively recent. I mean, some of the singularities were going back thousands of years. Well, the first singularity, Fuyuki F, that was 2004. That's the corrupted version of Fate Stay Night, which is why they had that one first, I think. And that's why I always say, with the Fate series, the more you're aware of what's happened, the more you've watched or read or played the games, the more you're going to appreciate all the things that happened thereafter. And so this one takes place in 1999. And as far as the timeline of events go, the current year I think is either 2017 or 2018, somewhere around there. Another thing I really loved about this singularity was all of the returning characters, and we got quite a number of them in the final singularity, of course, because it's the better version of Avengers Endgame, and that's going to be the case. But in this pseudo-singularity, a number of returning characters from previous singularities, and the villain was fantastic, and all the twists and turns, I absolutely loved it. So, once again, spoiler warning. I know I kind of touched on things early in this video, but spoiler warning for everything that happens in Shinjuku. If you haven't played Fate Grand Order, I recommend it for Fate fans and visual novel fans. Otherwise, you're probably not going to like it. But if you like visual novels and the Fate series, it's a great game, and I've enjoyed my time. I can't wait to see what happens next in the next pseudo-singularity. But it begins with our lovely MASH Kyrielite right here saying, we're overdue for a spring clean. I, MASH Kyrielite, will have this place spick and span in no time. And remember, MASH is a demi-servant, half human, half servant, fused with Galahad, the heroic spirit from Camelot. And ever since the final singularity, she made her sacrifice, protecting everyone, and then Fu came in and basically revived MASH. She can't ray shift anymore, and so she has to stay behind in Chaldea to recover her strength and hopefully get back to normal. And she's outlived her life expectancy. Remember with Dr. Roman, he was saying that MASH only had so long to live, and after that, after being revived by Fu, it looks like MASH may be turning into a real human. At least that's what I hope. I mean, I haven't progressed any further, so I don't know the future plot twist, but that's just what I'm thinking. And you get a cute moment here. You see she's kind of blushing. Besides, I haven't even had the time to think about things like that with all that's happened. And what happens is Da Vinci sees that there's a pseudo-singularity and, oh, you better go there and fix it. And so we arrive in Shinjuku and are greeted by this man right here. My class is Archer. Here I am known, or so I'm told, as the Archer of Shinjuku. And from here forward, all of the new servants, unless they're returning servants, the few we see in a moment, they refer to themselves as just that, the Archer of Shinjuku. Later we meet the Assassin of Shinjuku. Then, who we think is the Rider of Shinjuku, but it turns out to really be the Avenger of Shinjuku, which I actually pulled the Avenger of Shinjuku from the gacha roll early on. And, you know, you look at it, it's like, what kind of servant is this? And it's just the Avenger of Shinjuku. And it isn't until you get the actual name reveal where in your actual, you know, party, you get the true name. So I like that because early on, they would keep the names kind of hidden, and that's the whole point of Fate, is to figure out who these heroic spirits are and to get their great reveals. But you would still pull them with the gacha, and it would say their name right away, whereas progressing through the story, they eventually reveal the name. Here, they keep it more hidden, so this guy, for now, is just the Archer of Shinjuku until we get the great reveal. So we meet the Rider of Shinjuku, which, look at this guy, which eventually the reveal is that he's the Avenger of Shinjuku, and our heroes are trying to figure out who is the servant here? Is it the wolf, or is it the headless knight here, the Dullahan? And they sort of tie this into the legend of Sleepy Hollow, which I like that quite a bit. And so our first returning character, who shows up right after this giant wolf and the Dullahan show up, we're going to get our asses kicked. There's some boss fights where you don't necessarily lose, but you have to outlast them. And say you got to stay for, 10 turns and not die. And then the boss fight ends. And we get saved by none other than Saber Alter. She shows up again, which we hadn't seen Saber Alter since, well, I guess Fiyuki. Although, yeah, she showed up in Final Singularity as well with all of them. But she shows up, and this is where you get the difference between Fate Stay Night and Fate Grand Order, how this Artoria is different than the Fate Stay Night Artoria. Completely different, and we also met a bunch of Artorias throughout our journey, such as Artoria Lancer Alter, regular Artoria Lancer. In some of the events, there's Artoria Ruler, so on and so forth. But she shows up again and says she's impressed to see us surviving out here, Master of Chaldea, and you'll get a better shot later, but I love her outfit in this. She is the best saber, honestly, in my opinion. I love the regular Artoria saber, but Artoria Alter here, with the little shorts and the jacket she has on, so cute. I love her. So our next returning character, we have Jeanne d'Arc Alter. Again, we see her in Orleans. Was that Singularity 1? When, we have Jeanne d'Arc Ruler, and then we have Jeanne d'Arc Alter, the Avenger, who's a villain. But, again, she showed up in the Final Singularity along with the Count of Monte Cristo to help us out. And she shows up again. She's actually fighting against the other Archer of Shinjuku, Emiya Alter. Which I'll get to him when we get to the slideshow. But I just love her mannerisms. You mess with the wrong woman, you little shit! I'll burn you to cinders! So then we have this instance, which I love how Mash and Da Vinci constantly phone in. This was similar to Dr. Roman in the previous part, and Mash is giving our support, and you have Jeanne d'Arc Alter saying to Mash, I remember you refusing to let go of your shield, even though you had to fight back the tears of fright. So saying how impressed she is of Mash and all she fought for. So, same thing, we have Jeanne d'Arc Alter blending in and changing into more casual attire, similar to Saber Alter. And I believe you can unlock these different skins by either progressing through the story, or you can spend the mana prisms or rare prisms or whatever else. I haven't pulled Jeanne d'Arc Alter, but I would like to one day. So then we have Emiya Alter. I'll kill you off at a second thought, so don't complain too much when you're dead. And just the dialogue in this game goes so hard. But I love how we have all the alters here. Eventually they all team up right away. Saber and Jeanne d'Arc Alter are on our side, and then eventually we get Emiya Alter. And that's the thing where you need to have the prior knowledge of Fate Stay Night, because you know that Archer, the big spoiler there is that Shiro Emiya is Archer, the Archer from the future. And he's a counter guardian, which is what Emiya Alter is here, where he's not like a true heroic spirit. He's a counter guardian, and he has to go and fix whatever was messed up in the past. So that's why his ideals persevere through all the different timelines, and even if he is an alter here, which in this case, instead of, you know, well, in Fate Stay Night he uses the 2 blades, but then he does use a bow and arrow. In this case, he has a gun. You can't really see because of the text, but he's holding a gun right there. So we have the 2 best girls right there. You're not going anywhere. Where she's yelling at me, I think, in this case. And again, I just love their outfits so much, blending in. We meet the other half of the Archer of Shinjuku. So the Archer of Shinjuku has been on our side the whole time. That's the good side. But then we have the bad side, who's over here in the Barrel Tower. And his whole goal is to bring this giant meteorite to destroy the world. So, and he's talking about being a mathematician, so you can try to put the pieces together right there. We'll get to his reveal in a second. And he has William Shakespeare under his control, trying to turn him into an alter as well. And he's like, you know, help me, Master of Chaldea, it's been quite some time. I know I'm only a 1 or 2 star servant, but help me anyway. I'll be of great use. And then we see the Count of Monte Cristo coming in for the save, which he actually reveals that he's not the Count of Monte Cristo, and it's really Sherlock Holmes, which we haven't seen Sherlock Holmes since Camelot. And he shows up again, and he showed up giving us ominous warnings all the way back in Camelot, the 6th Singularity. He shows up again. I don't think we saw him in the final Singularity. He didn't show up at all, but he shows up again, and here he is, ready to go. And that's when you get the reveal that the Archer of Shinjuku is James Moriarty, the arch nemesis of Sherlock Holmes. Hell yeah, from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the author of those works there. So that's when you get the reveal. And then, I just wanted to include this again. Everything's in chronological order, but this is them going, Baka! You know. And we have to sneak in to figure out the truth of the evil James Moriarty. So, to blend in, our lovely ladies don new attire, some beautiful dresses. There's Saber Alter in her dress, as well as Jeanne d'Arc Alter in her dress. And then we meet the assassin of Shinjuku, who reveals his name is Yan Qing, one of the 108 stars of destiny. Prepare yourself. And he's like some martial artist from China. So, he shows up. And then we get the reveal about the Avenger of Shinjuku, Hessian Lobo. Now, Hessian, the headless dual hand, is reference, I think it's actually pronounced the Hessians, is reference to the German mercenaries who fought for the British during the American Revolution. So, and then Lobo here, there's some lore with him where he was protecting his mate and he was caught in a trap. And he saw his mate die, and he's been pursuing the murderers of his mate for all these years, and the anger persists, becoming an Avenger. So it's really interesting how Fate even transcends, you know, the real-life fictional heroes. We get like just a random Hessian soldier as the dual hand, and you know, you have Saber, Arturia, who's King Arthur, and Sherlock Holmes, James Moriarty, and here we just have this wolf. So it's cool how they bring forth all that stuff. There's the reveal, the Avenger of Shinjuku, really the Hessian Lobo, and that's when we get the moment you defeat Lobo, and then Hessian shows up and he sacrifices himself so that Lobo can just die peacefully. So good stuff right there. Then we finally come across the evil James Moriarty, and it turns out he's working with one of the demon god pillars, Baal. And I'm not killing you in order to destroy the world. I'm destroying the world in order to kill you. Like, what the hell, man? So one of the demon god pillars continues to survive. Now, I understand with the Epic of Remnant, you probably should have done this one first. I opted to do the BB Seraph one of the interludes, because I just unlocked it. And by completing it, you get a free BB servant, a 4-star, I think Moon Cancer servant is what she's called. And they reference some more stuff there. There's another Demon God Pillar, so I'd wager not all the Demon God Pillars were destroyed when we defeated Galatia. And there's a few that are still hanging around, and so Baal is one of them, so we gotta kill him. And then we have Emiya Alter shows up. He's like, I gotta stop this Demon God Pillar, so he teams up with us. We also have Mash chiming in. It means that he now has someone he would risk his life to protect, someone precious to him. And all the reinforcements arrive. Then we have the real Count of Monte Cristo shows up. I'll accompany you all the way down to hell if that's where our paths lead. We also have Jeanne d'Arc Alter show up again, which it was presumed she was dead. She had sacrificed herself early on to fend off Hessian Lobo, but she did survive. She returns for the final battle. Of course, William Shakespeare is back. We also have Hans Christian Andersen. They're all here. And they use their noble phantasm, First Folia, which summons the Phantom Spirit Detectives who imbue their power into us. And it's so Kino, man. It's so Kino. And we get ready to face the real James Moriarty, which it turned out in the end, the good James, we first defeated the bad James Moriarty, but then the good James Moriarty showed up. He betrayed us, and then he fused with the bad one, and it was the ultimate way to defeat Sherlock Holmes, which he eventually absorbed Sherlock Holmes' power. So, goddamn, what a twist. And so then our heroes, to stop the meteor, Emilia Alter and Arturia Alter go outside to try and stop it. And instead of Unlimited Blade Works, Emilia Alter's attack is Unlimited Lost Works! And we have Arturia with Excalibur Morgan! And they destroy the meteor that's going to destroy the world. And in the end, we have a heart-to-heart to James Moriarty. And during the final battle, man, the final battle against James Moriarty, the music, the OST is so fucking Kino. It's so good. And I gotta say, all the OST in Fate Grand Order has been quite amazing. But the final battle against him, and then his noble phantasm is called Catastrophic Crime. It's so badass. And being the archer, he also has like a gun, but he's holding a coffin. It's like, what the hell, man? It's so good. But a great ending right there. We say goodbye to everyone. They all start fading away. I'll lend you a hand if I'm summoned. And by completing this, you actually unlock Emilia Alter. He's able to be summoned through story summoning, so you can get him. I think he's a 4-star servant. And before Jeanne d'Alter fades away, she wants to dance. So she's going to practice a little more. Arturia says goodbye. That was another subplot. She had this little dog, and that was sort of their bait for Hessian Lobo, and she says goodbye to the dog and fades away there. And then we get transported back to Chaldea, and Miss Smash is there saying, "Welcome back, Master Senpai." But yeah, I loved it, man. A lot of fun, and I really wish they turned Shinjuku into an anime series, because they've adapted some of Fate Grand Order. You know, the first Singularity, Singularity F and Fuyuki, they turned that into a movie. The First Order, it's like 90 minutes. They turned Camelot into 2 movies. They turned Absolute Demonic Front into, I think, a 25-episode series, and then the final Singularity as a movie. And just playing through Shinjuku, they could easily turn this into like a 24-episode series, or I guess they can fit it into a movie, but I prefer to have a series because there's so many great moments with the characters and everything, man. I love it. But absolutely fantastic. I love Fate Grand Order. I don't care. Oh, it's a gacha game. No, it's great, man. I enjoy it quite a bit. I've been playing it for months. I can't wait to continue with Pseudo-Singularity number 2, but I had to record this first. And there is an event coming up soon in February. I don't know when this video is going to go up, but I'd like to get that event done. I actually just pulled a Reshkigal with one of the banners. So I got her, the Lancer Rin Tosaka. But another thing, maybe a little nitpick. I always have Mash in the party because I think she's a great unit. You know, she's a 4-star servant. The only shielder as far as I'm concerned, and she's great for buffing the party with defense, and her Noble Phantasm is very good. Now, the story, she has to stay behind in Chaldea, so I maybe it would have been better, like, for story purposes, to make it so you can't use Mash during the Epic of Remnant, or whenever you can use her again, but that would just be a long time, so maybe that's why, you want to use Mash user, because I have all her skills maxed out and everything. I invested a lot into her, so it would suck if you couldn't use her, but maybe for story purposes, you know. And I have MASH in the bikini skin because I unlocked it. Why not? So, for battles. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. You know, if for some reason you just watch this and you haven't played it, I strongly recommend Fate Grand Order, but only if you like visual novels and the Fate series. Otherwise, it's difficult to get into. A lot of reading, and you can only play it on your phone or tablet. I wish this was on consoles. If this was on the PS5, I'd put even more hours into it. And I'd know how many hours I'd actually played because I have no idea. It's been months. It's been hundreds of hours. That's all I know. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And stay tuned for more videos coming soon. Everybody have a great day. And peace out.
99.